Barış Arduç and Elçin Sangu caught in tender on-set moments. Private frames everyone is talking about. Barış Arduç shares closeness with his partner. Sensational stills from the Butterfly Labyrinth shoot are here. Welcome to Turkish series stars. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe and support, friends. Fans of Barış and Elçin, brace yourselves. After Sandokan, a fresh storm is blowing in from Spain. Filming has begun for the Spanish series Butterfly Labyrinth, and the very first images have already shaken social media. Curiosity is sky high. This new role promises a magnetic blend of romance and psychological suspense. What's truly waiting for us in Butterfly Labyrinth? We've gathered everything about those first images, the cast surrounding our beloved duo, and the surprise details tucked behind the scenes. Barış's new adventure is real, and the first glimpses from Butterfly Labyrinth are proof. Recently, he has stood out as a tireless force, delivering hit after hit in Turkey and beyond. Following his victorious turn on Ray 1 Sandokan, he's stepped into a wholly different world with Butterfly Labyrinth. The earliest official photos from the set erupted across social feeds, and the reaction was immediate. Fans want answers, context, and every last detail. Through snapshots shared on Barış's Instagram, we caught the first hints of his transformation in Spain. He appears pared back and purposeful, short hair, a minimalist beard, and the cool ease of someone who knows precisely who his character is. In one frame, he's in a black sweatshirt and matching joggers, understated yet striking. In another, Elçin leans in close, their eyes caught in a hush between scenes, the kind of quiet that says everything without sound. That natural, unforced glow, his and hers, has drawn a flood of admiration. A fresh challenge after Sandokan was always on the cards for Barış. He's never shied from shaking up expectations. After embracing Emilio Salgari's legendary figure and thriving within an international ensemble, he saw his audience widen, Turkey first, then Italy, then the rest of Europe taking notice. That win opened a door to something more intimate, more layered. Butterfly Labyrinth steps deliberately into that space. Its heart is suspense, its pulse is romance, its blood is betrayal. At its core, we find a secret agent desperate to clear his name, forced to confront treachery on all sides, and to recognize the cost of love when the ground beneath him keeps shifting. Barış's character is written with dramatic weight, fewer explosive set pieces, more charged silences, fewer roaring battles, more seismic looks. Viewers who fell for his physical bravado in previous work will find themselves gripped by restraint, by ache, by the way a swallowed word can hit like a gunshot. And Elçin? She is no mere adornment to the plot. She meets him where the story hurts most, complicating the mission with a tenderness that doesn't always soothe. Her scenes with Barış promise that elusive alchemy, two people who know each other's rhythms so well that the camera almost seems to blush. Whether they're whispering in the blue hour before a take or caught in the rain in a late-night sequence, their chemistry invites us in and refuses to let us go. The cast surrounding them is stacked with names that speak to ambition and craft: Maria Donati, Andrea Duro, Felix Gomez, Noah Rollin, Michelle Calvo, Leander Vivi, Paco Tu, Marta Solas, Victor Clavijo, Antonio Gil, and Jorge Saquet all bring texture to this world. Sequoia Studios produces. Alberto Ruiz Rojo and Inaki Penafai are at the helm. Eduardo Galdo and Lele Portas lend their hands as producers. The script is woven by Angela Obon and Daniel Corpus. It's an international apparatus clearly aiming beyond borders, poised to make Butterfly Labyrinth a title that resonates not just in Spain but across Europe. Those first images do more than tease costumes or scenery, they hint at method. In the black sweats, Barış embodies present-day realism. A man who doesn't need armor to seem formidable. He holds himself with quiet tension, the kind that settles on his shoulders and in his jawline. Elçin mirrors him, sharp and soft at once. When their gazes meet, you can sense the unscripted energy between them, the trust that lets a scene breathe. It's no surprise that Instagram and Twitter turned into a tidal wave of reactions. Comments flew in. Barış looks like the definition of subtle power. Butterfly Labyrinth is about to rewrite the rules. Even the rehearsal shots feel cinematic. Rumors about a release window began bubbling, with fans debating schedules and speculating on international rollouts. In Italy, where Sandokan found such a warm welcome, the excitement is unmissable. Audiences there are openly rooting for this new turn, eager to see Barış take on a role shaded by doubt and desire, and eager to watch Elçin opposite him, matching him intensity for intensity. With the cameras rolling again, the conversation naturally drifted to their private lives. Social feeds hummed with theories. Had Barış and Elçin hit a rough patch? Was distance going to pry them apart? A few claimed they had already parted ways, a few insisted the reverse, that the set had drawn them closer than ever. Amid the guesses, one thing stood firm: both of them kept the noise at arm's length. They turned their attention to the work, to the minutes between action and cut, to the discipline of building a moment that can hold an audience still. Those candid set pictures, focused faces, poised hands, small smiles passed back and forth, read like a statement. Whatever whispers say, professionalism says more. Butterfly Labyrinth, as a concept, isn't content to be labeled a romance. The story is spiked with betrayal, wrapped in mystery, and tuned to the frequency of dread. The secret agent at the center, as played by Barış, feels the sting of deception not just from enemies, but from those whose closeness makes the wound complicated. Elçin's character, whose loyalty is tested in the most human ways, becomes a mirror that reflects what the mission takes, and what it gives back. The emotional conflict is the spine of the narrative, not an accessory to it. Every beat is designed to let us feel the cost of trust. In scripts like these, psychology is the true spectacle. The writers parse motive and fear with an eye for detail, lifting the series beyond the borders of a simple love story into something that thrums with consequence. Think of the contrast with Sandokan. There, the arresting sweep of adventure set the tone. Costumes, stunts, the fever of a legend reborn. Barış dominated a world where danger could often be seen and grappled with head-on. Butterfly Labyrinth invites him to fight ghosts that wear familiar faces. In this new space, the battlefield is modern life, surveillance, the wash of neon on a city street at midnight, a lover's pause that says too much. For fans, this is not a step back from spectacle, it's a step inward. Both works keep you close to the screen, but they do it differently. Where Sandokan flashed with action, this one tightens the grip with emotion. And for those who have followed Barış and Elçin since their earliest days together, the chance to see them navigate this terrain side by side is a gift. The on-set energy jumps out even from still images. Barış's sporty, unfussy look speaks to a character who blends into crowds and then suddenly owns the frame. His interactions with the ensemble suggest momentum, quick detours into laughter, then the alert quiet that falls before a take. With Elçin, there's a hush that's almost ritual, as if they're checking each other's pulse. Crew members hover, watch, reset. Little details appear in the corners of photos, the mark taped to the floor, a hand warm around a cup, a scarf adjusted between scenes. All of it adds up to a promise: the show will feel lived in, sincere, uncomplicated by vanity. Expectations are twitching like live wires online. Within minutes of a new post, fan pages spin up edits, threads run thousands of comments deep, and translation accounts rush to bridge languages. Italian fans count days and trace hints. Turkish viewers watch closely for the emotional shifts Barış can pull and for the luminous intelligence Elçin brings into a room. The consensus isn't hard to find. Romance and suspense together make a dangerous mix, and this cast knows how to handle sparks. Media chatter has followed, of course. Entertainment journalists sift through the frames and seize on the same themes fans do. A leading man who seems ready to carry a bruise for the length of a series. A leading lady who looks set to complicate the truth with a single glance. And a visual style that prefers suggestion over noise. From Spain to Italy to Turkey and beyond, the feeling is the same. Butterfly Labyrinth could be the kind of project that shifts a career's center of gravity. It helps that the machinery behind it is international. With Sequoia Studios at the wheel and directors Alberto Ruiz Rojo and Inaki Penafai shaping the tone, the series is configured for travel. The scripts by Angela Obon and Daniel Corpaz move with sleek confidence, alternating between sharp dialogue and those heavy, suspended moments that let an audience rid a face. If the early talk of additional seasons holds, Butterfly Labyrinth may become a chapter marker in Barry's timeline. A period where range became not just evident but undeniable. The same is true for Elçin, whose role is built not as decoration but as a fulcrum. When she breathes, the plot tilts. When she withdraws, the tension spikes. That's how a series earns devotion. It lets its leads be vulnerable enough to fracture and strong enough to try again. There's also the matter of Italy. After Sandokan opened a door there, expectations for a broadcast or platform release are already simmering. A new European audience awaits, and with it, the chance for both Barış and Elçin to deepen their footprint. Butterfly Labyrinth isn't just another job for them, it's the start of a new conversation with viewers, one that asks for patience and promises an emotional payoff. The very first images hint at how ready they are for this exchange. You can see it in the way Barış holds stillness like a secret, in the way Elçin reads a room and finds the light. So, where does this leave us? On the edge of a premiere, or close enough to taste it? After the roaring success of Sandokan, Barış seems determined to captivate again, but with a different flavor, a high-intensity drama running on heartbeat and doubt instead of muskets and sails. Elçin is at his side in front of the camera, and, if the quiet smiles are to be believed, right behind it too. The online buzz they've sparked is only getting louder, the tide is rising, and the series hasn't even aired. Fans want to see him shattered and remade, they want to see her choose between duty and feeling, then carry the consequence like a crown. Even these first photos, simple as they are, telegraph impact. They tell us that Butterfly Labyrinth isn't just a new title in a filmography. It's a pivot. What do you think of Barış's new role in Butterfly Labyrinth, and of the way he and Elçin ignite the frame when they're together? Drop your thoughts on those set photos below. If you don't want to miss a single step they take or any of the latest celebrity updates, subscribe now and turn on notifications. If you enjoyed this deep dive, like the video and pass it along to friends who live for this kind of story. Keep it locked to Turkish series stars for more from Barış, Elçin, and the unfolding mystery of Butterfly Labyrinth. And to everyone watching, here's to a year filled with great scenes and even better endings.